If you're struggling with the page designer block inside of Airtable, then this video is for you. We're going to be going into detail on exactly how to set up and use this block. And in addition, I'm going to be going into some of the most common misuses that I see, or the biggest questions I get asked by people who can't seem to get it to work the right way. So if that's of interest to you, stick around. Let's get into it. Hey, my name is Gareth Pronovost. I'm the owner of Gap Consulting, where we help businesses to get organized and automated with Airtable and Zapier. Of course, this means that they spend less time working in their business and they get to spend more time building their business, which of course is the goal of most entrepreneurs. So if that's of interest to you, definitely check out our channel, click subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and all those things. So we're releasing new content on that on a regular basis. Okay, that being said though, let's just jump into our video here, and we're going to be going into detail on how to build this page designer block. But before I get there, quick synopsis on how or what we built already, okay? So this is a pretty standard use case where we've got contacts and books. So these are our two main tables. And in this case, what we're tracking is we want to get book review data, right? So all our contacts, and we have certain books in our database, and then, and of course, by the way, these are horror books because it is almost Halloween as of the recording here. And then we've got book reviews as well, and the book reviews is going to be a junction table between the person, the contact, and the book, right? So real quick high level, let's look at the data that we keep in each of these tables, right? And if you're new to this channel, again, one of the things I always stress is put data points in the right place wherever they exist, right? So ask yourself this question: this thing that I want to record, this data point, where does it belong, right? So email, well, that's a contact data point, right? That pertains to the people in our database. Phone number, same thing. Now this is the link to book reviews because each person needs to be connected to a review. And then we have a number of reviews, and this is where we're counting the number of book reviews that these people are linked to. This is a simple count function that's counting the linked book reviews. And then we're also seeing an average score that each person is giving on their reviews. And so what this is doing is a little bit of math on the back end thanks to the roll-up field. If you're new to roll-up fields, check out our video on understanding these. But basically what's happening is we're looking at the book reviews for each individual contact, and we're looking at the ratings that they've given, and then we're taking an average of those. So we can quickly and easily see what's the average rating that a reviewer gives every time they review a book. All right, the next set of data is books. And you'll notice, by the way, there's no direct connection between contacts and books. Okay, that happens in our book reviews table over here. This is called a junction table. But in our books table, of course, we have the book title, we have the author, and then we have the linked relationship to the reviews. Again, this is where, if we flip over to reviews, you see that we've linked to both the contact and the book itself, right? And so here we're doing the same thing. We're counting the number of times each book gets reviewed. And you'll see in this case, every book is reviewed exactly 3 times. And then we're also running a calculation, same as we did on the contacts table. But here we're saying, hey, what is the average score that each book receives, right? And so here we have the reviews. We're looking, again, same concept as before, but we're doing a roll-up on the reviews connection, and we're looking at the rating. So these are two different things, right? This average is the average score per book, and the contacts here, this is the average score given by the reviewer, or the contact. Okay. And then the last table then is reviews. And this one's pretty simple. This is where we're combining the person and the book with a rating that they've given it. Okay, so that's it for our setup. Now let's talk about the page designer block. Let's pop one open and just get to work. You notice that the first thing we need to do is add the block to our system, which I do by clicking add a block. And in here, you can select page designer right here from the top of the list. If you don't see it here, just type it in. And page designer block is right here. Once that's added, you're going to notice a couple of things. First things first, it's going to ask you, what table are we looking at? And so we have 3 different tables, right? We have our contacts, our book reviews, and our books and our book reviews. Now let's suppose we wanted to look at the data that was relevant to contacts. We would select the contacts table. And what that's going, and then of course we're going to pick the size of the page in terms of how big we want this. Now, standard page design here would be letter 8.5 by 11 inches here in the US. And then you can choose if you're doing portrait or landscape, right? And then the only other thing here, or rather to go back to what we were talking about in terms of what table we're selecting, is and this is the most critical part about the page designer block. Each time we are looking at a page designer, it's going to look at one and only one record. Okay, now this comes up directly against one of the things that I hear the most from clients, and they say, hey, I want to see a lot of things, a lot of records on the page designer. And that is possible, but it's important that those records that you're looking at are linked to the record that you're looking at a particular time. I realize that was a bit confusing the way I phrased it, so let me say it again from a different angle. Right now, we have this page designer block looking at our contacts. And our contacts, if we flip out, our contacts are linked to book reviews. So we can see all of the reviews that are linked to one contact, right? We know that, for example, let me shrink this down a little bit, but we know that in this case, Gareth has reviewed 4 books. So if we're looking at the record for Gareth, because we've looked at the contacts table, that is where this record lives, then we can also see all of the 4 reviews that Gareth has given. And if we look at the record for John Galt, we will see the 3 reviews that John Galt has given. But the point here is that the page designer block has to look at one table and one record at a time in order to see those other records that are connected to that record. So definitely play around with that a little bit if that doesn't make intuitive sense right now. But let's go into this example a little bit further. So let's suppose what we wanted to do was print out a report for each person in our database and show all of the things that they'd reviewed. Well, we could start by bringing in the name. There we go. And we can just up this font size a little bit. You see we have a lot of functionality and a lot of ability to make alterations here in terms of the way this presents. The weight, the height of the line, the size of the font itself. So we can make all these different changes to the way that we're presenting this data. And the thing is, what I did here to begin with was I brought in the field from the table that we're looking at. So we are looking at, again, the contacts table. So I'm bringing in the name field. And the nice part about that is as I flip through my records here by clicking next record, you see all of the different contacts one at a time. So these are the 4 different contacts in our database at present. Okay. We can also bring in email address, we could bring in phone number, etc. Or we could, if we wanted to keep the same formatting, we could scroll down. Oh, and I didn't mention text, but you can also play with the color, make some changes to the color here. Let me bring this one in. And if you want borders, you can do that as well. Let's see if I can make that a little cleaner. Oops, I didn't mean to turn those off. There we go. So you get the idea, right? A lot of different formatting options that we have access to here. So once I've gotten that kind of situated, I'll click on this again, and this is now I'm in the element of the name field. You'll see right here, because it says field name, I'm inside of this element. If I X out, then I'm back at the top level of this, and I'm looking at all of the different elements in the table, right? So what I can do from here, if I were to click back into the element, I can duplicate this element, and this is a much quicker way. If we like the formatting that we created, this is the fastest way to create multiple elements. So now that we're here, we have this one, and if I wanted to make any changes to it, of course I could. And let's see, what other things might I change here? Oh, I also have the ability to stack things in terms of order, which is first if I want to send it to the back or otherwise. And and then of course also if I wanted to fill in the background with a color, I could do that as well. So let's go ahead and just do that really quickly so you can see. I don't like that actually, but that's the fastest or the fastest way to take care of that. So you've got a lot of different options just in terms of how you're going to structure this and make it, visually appealing. But let me go ahead and get rid of that. And then if I want to bring in other things like the email field, for example, I can do that. I'm not going to bother formatting all of these things, but you can see how I can bring in both the email or a phone number for somebody. And this is an important part as well. As I cycle through the records, this information changes based on what's relevant to that particular person. So in this case, this email pertains to this person. This phone number pertains to this person. And what that's pulling from is just all of this data right here. So pretty straightforward, but still a little bit confusing if it's your first time using this system. Now, I can bring in any number of things, and one of the cool things I can do is actually bring in some static elements as well. So I could write something like, this person has reviewed, and I'm going to put like a big X here, XXX number of books. And once I've done that, I can resize that, of course, however I'd like. Again, I have all the formatting options as well, right? All the things that we talked about before, they're available here, even for the static element. But the really neat thing that I can do here is actually bring in a dynamic element with the static element. And so specifically, I want to pull in this number of reviews field. And so back inside of my page designer, rather than bringing in XXX, I'm going to use squiggly brackets, open and close, and inside of them I'm going to paste the number, or rather paste the field name. So in this case, my field name was pound or hashtag space of space reviews, right? And this needs to be matched verbatim, capitalization included. Once I've got that matched up, you'll see that over here, the actual number of that field is showing up. And so rather than saying this person has reviewed XXX, this number now will change based on the record we're looking at. So again, if we were to go back to our raw data set, you see that everyone's reviewed 4 books with the exception of John Galt, who's only reviewed 3. So if I were to look again at this and cycle through my various records, still Hank Reardon's seen 4 books or reviewed 4 books, Dagny has reviewed 4. But once I get back to John Galt, you see that 3 books have been reviewed. And so this number is changing with the underlying data set, which is awesome. Now, the last part that I want to do that I alluded to earlier is I want to bring in the actual linked data to this person, which I can do by accessing the linked data here. So book reviews is where we've connected the contact to the books, or to the reviews rather. So I'll bring that in, and let me just go ahead and make this much larger. And the first thing that you'll notice is that I have 4 different relations or 4 different records here that are being brought in. And these are the 4 different records that have been linked to Gareth. So these are the 4 reviews that Gareth has made. So let's really quickly flip over to those and take a look at them. So over here in the book reviews, let me go ahead and apply a filter just temporarily where the contact contains Gareth. So now these are the 4 data points, or rather the 4 reviews that have Gareth as the reviewer. And so these are the 4 reviews that we're seeing here: Dracula, Hell House, Rosemary's Baby, and The Shining. And so, of course, they don't have the same order here, but they are here. I'm going to go ahead and go back into here, and we can actually access the other points of data that are associated with these records. So specifically, let me see if I can find it. I'm going to look at the table columns section right here. And this is where I want to bring in different columns associated with these records. So maybe I want to bring in the rating that Gareth or anybody gave on these various ratings. And maybe I don't need to see the review ID because it's a bit redundant. We know the person reviewed them is the same as part of the review ID. So perhaps instead I want to bring in just the book name itself. And you see that I can reorder these things. So if I were to move books above rating and let go, then they're reordered here in my chart. And I can also remove elements of the chart. So if I don't want this review ID, I can X this element out, and now I can see nicely the 4 different books that Gareth reviewed and the ratings that he gave them. last part that I might bring in here. Oh, before I do that, excuse me. Before I do that, you can also add borders here to your table. And you can also sort the data. So if you want to sort it alphabetically, for example, from the books, the name of the books, you can do so just by clicking a sort. Okay, pretty good. And then the last piece that I might want to add here is the average number of reviews that Gareth has given. So let me bring this down, and I'm actually going to make this slightly larger and just kind of put it in the center here. So we see the number of books they reviewed, and then I can do something similar down here. Again, this is a static element, and I can say the average score this person gave. And then here's where I need to bring in that score, right? So let's flip back over to the contact, and here is the average score field. I'm going to copy this and go back into my page designer. And here I'm going to paste the name of that field in between those squiggly brackets. And I can make this a little bit bigger because it's a little hard to read with that smaller font. And we can go with that. So there we go. All right, so popping out of here, you'll see that as I cycle through my records, this information changes, right? I see all the books that they reviewed, I see the ratings they gave, and I see what the average the average score given by that reviewer is. Now, again, the important thing to remember here is we built this page designer looking at the contacts table. So if we wanted to see the same kind of data displayed for the books, we could do that, but it would have to be a different page designer block that we build that looks specifically at the blocks table. So I'll leave that to you guys to experiment with on your own, but I hope that this quick tutorial has given more insight into what you can do with the page designer block, including all the different things that are available with it. All right, as always, I hope you found that to be super helpful. If you did and you have some business questions that you'd like to run by us, definitely swing by our website. The link will be in the description, and we offer up times so that we can hop on a call with you. You can book directly there, and we can set something up that works for both of us. What we'll be discussing is building a solution for you that puts all of your data in one place and gives you a nice, concise dashboard so that you know what's happening in your business at all times. Additionally, we will work on building custom bespoke automation for you so that you can eliminate the time that you spend on repetitive tasks and save countless hours every week. So if that's of interest, definitely swing by our website and check out the different offers that we have there.